Okay, thank you. Well, I want to compliment all of you who have decided to take the class and to go over with you what is going to happen as best as I understand it. And as I believe I said on the last class, the last Zoom, is that it's going to be easier to build when you have a group you're building in. Because there's going to be a Facebook page just for the people who are in the class, the Zoom, the training, whereby you can learn from each other. And people will be posting different things, and I'm doing this, I'm trying this, and this is working. So the learning is going to go way beyond the class, which is on Thursday, the training. It's going to go way beyond that. So that's going to be very, very good. Also, once again, I heard that Richard has posted some things. He is so dedicated into making Shackley so successful. It just comes through and through. He's going way beyond the call of duty. He's not getting paid for it, but he's posting some things, trying to make this the best, the best. He is so happy to be doing it because of what he feels he'll be able to contribute and make Shackley the incredible company. And therefore, all of you must decide if you want to continue with the Zoom. It's up to you. But we're going to be talking a different language. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be scary. If it's not scary, it's not going to work. It's like somebody said, let's go on a roller coaster. The roller coaster does not go up or down. It stays level and it goes 1 mile an hour. Real comfortable. Nobody's going to get on the roller coaster with you. It's nothing. It's got to be scary. Many people, if you go to an amusement park, they take these rides that are scary. And the ones that are the scariest have the longest lines. And so that is an important element in this training that we're going to be getting and where we're going to go. Here's what we're going to be looking at, and this is not to exclude anybody, but I'm just telling you that if you're not ready for this, that's okay. It's perfectly okay. But we have an opportunity to go in this direction, which is going to help more people, more kids with ADD, more people are going to be in better health. Like I'm thinking of my niece who I just got started on Shackley about a week ago. And, you know, she has 2 children. She has bulging disc in her neck. Her back hurts. She's in pain a lot. Wakes up in the morning with pain, goes to bed at night, has pain, can't sleep well. And I did ask her the question, did you drink a lot of carbonated drinks? And she said, yeah, about 3 a day. Don't anymore, but I did. And so I feel very, very sorry for her, but I tell you, the results she has received in a week, I'm elated. I'm so elated that she has less pain and there's less swelling and so on. And that's what Shackley's all about, folks. It really is. That's what it's all about. And to see her to get these results with 2 young children, and her husband, I know, has to be worried about what's going to happen. If somebody did not come along in her life at the right time, it all happened by accident. My nephew, who I happen to see, I see him maybe every few months, but I happened to see him at my brother's house, and he was telling me, and they were talking about his daughter, who was a niece to me, talking about her and her problems. And I said, did she drink a lot of diet drinks? And he said, yeah, I think so. And so I said, boy, do you think it'd be okay if I talked to her? He said, yeah, I'll give you her number. So I called her. Do you realize that perhaps if I had not called her and helped her, and this gives me emotional goosebumps to think, chances are in 5 years she'd be in a wheelchair and definitely have had back surgery in 5 years. That's where she was headed. Maybe 10, maybe 10. Boy, I feel so good about being able to help her, to change her life. I mean, think of those young kids. They're 5 and 7. Boy, I tell you, we've got a blessing of being in this company. And Richard keeps pointing that out. If you have looked at altusproductions.com, and he talks about this incredible superior company that we're with. I've sent that out to that website to many of my customers just to let them know the wonderful company they're buying products from. I didn't say anything about the business, but just letting them know. We are in a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful company, and I'm elated to see the results that we can get. So if you decide to be in the training program, you're going to help a lot of people with illness. Just look at it from that point of view. You're going to help a lot of people. Boy, you got to feel good about that already. That's what it's all about. So you've got to decide whether this is for you, because we're looking at, if you are a director, how you can develop 10 directors in the next 12 months. Probably about 3 first levels, and the rest will be downline in the group. That's what all the Zooms are going to be about that we do. And of course, what you're doing with Richard is going to be moving in that direction of building people. So as an example, if you have 2 people in the training program, chances are they're going to be coordinators in 6 months. And with the book has been phenomenal. I mean, Gary Burke endorses something, you know it's good. I've seen enough results. My thing is sending it out to people already using Shackley, and the results that I have gotten from people I could never, ever get, that I'm getting already. And one was to the niece with a bulging disc. She said, yeah, she scanned through the book. And I said, do you have an interest in looking at how we make an income? She said, yeah, by all means. It was a book. I couldn't have said anything to her to get her to have the same reaction. So we're going to set up a time when we can talk. And I have another guy. Yeah, I read through a force of the book. Somebody I'd talked to about Shackley in the past. He'd asked questions about the business, but couldn't go over that line of saying, yes, I want to talk. Read the quarter of the book. I said, you have an interest in looking at how we make an income? And he said, yes. He said, this next 2 weeks, I've got a lot of things with family, but then after that. So I've seen enough results and heard enough incredible results from the book. So the book, with what Richard is doing and the Zooms that we're going to do, you must be looking at developing 10 directors. Here's the thing. It's going to be easier to develop 10 directors than it is to 1 or 2. I don't know where you've ever seen or heard of 2 people starting a riot. They've got to have 3, 4, or 5. And you've all seen the video or the YouTube of the guy dancing at a concert, and pretty soon 3 minutes there are 150 people out there dancing, but you got to get 3. So as soon as you start getting 3, things will start exploding. And because you're already in a group, it's going to be easier than if you were to try to go out and get a group of 10 people without Richard's group already existing. So it's going to be easier. So everything points to that. And if you develop 2 coordinators in a year, then you're looking at 6 new directors. 4 more, you got your 10. So what you're going to be learning on the Zooms is going to make you a different person in 3 months than you are today. I don't know if you're ready for that. You're going to be learning leadership things that perhaps you're not aware of today. You will learn that you now must become the conductor of the orchestra. Yes, you'll be playing some instruments, you'll be bringing people in and so on, but you will be the conductor of the orchestra, because you will have created incredible vision for yourself, and you must create and help people to create their vision. You're the conductor. You're not just playing an instrument. You're not just bringing people in and doing the follow-up and so on. You are creating a vision with people. I talked to somebody on a Zoom today and I said, okay, how many people do you have in the program? She's got a couple directors. She said, I have 1. I said, okay, if that one who really, really wants to grow, and she really wants to grow because her daughter has said to her, Mommy, 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 when are you going to be able to stay home? I mean, that doesn't bring tears to your eyes. And the mother said, in a year, I'll be able to make the same income or more that I'm making. Somebody's phone is ringing. I'll be able to make the income in this other job, so I'll be able to be home. And that daughter presses her every day. Mommy, mommy, how many more days? I said, she's going to be looking for 10. So if she gets 10 and you get 10, have you ever thought about how many that would be? And she said, no, I've never thought about it. We must get prepared for success, big time, so that I can help other people with their vision. The other thing that will happen is that you will become very creative with that vision. You have the vision, now you're going to get creative. And things are going to fall out of the sky for you that you never expected. Those two things are 98% of building a business. So if we don't stretch, we will not have things fall out of the sky, we will not creative, we will not have a vision. So we will then resort to just activity and excitement, and that just does not build a business. Not very well. So we will learn how to become the conductor. Here are other things that we'll learn. You will learn how to talk to people and find out very quickly what's holding them back. So many times I've seen people work with people for a long period of time, and maybe it's a person who talks too much because they lack confidence. But we keep trying to give them another program to help them to move ahead, and we do not deal with the real issue, and that is they talk too much. Is it scary to do that? Is it uncomfortable to do that? Yes, it is. But we cannot go on for 6 months knowing that there is a problem, or that person lacks confidence, or that person has a religious guilt about making money in this type of business. You're going to learn how to handle situations where they have a very negative spouse. These are things that you must be picking up as a leader in the group, as a leader of your organization. You will also be learning how to be thinking 5 moves ahead so that you can be thinking right now, what are you going to do to reward the person who becomes a senior director or becomes a coordinator or an executive? Are you going to put out a monthly 1-page bulletin to recognize the people who are growing in your business? Because it's recognition. Recognition helps with the vision. It's so vitally important. So all these things will happen, but you'll be changing. You'll be a different person. And when you do that, people will see you differently. Number one, there will be many people who will be attracted to you. As I mentioned before on another Zoom, I believe, I see a number of people standing on the street corners or on the sidewalks looking for a handout with a sign that says I'm homeless. I'm not attracted to those people. I have talked to them, but I'm not attracted to them. I'm attracted to somebody who is a visionary. One of the big things that Roger has is he likes to talk about a vision. Many people don't remember what he really said, but he had that vision. And those people just attract. But if we don't have the vision, we don't attract. And so you're also going to have some people in your group, or you're going to have some relatives who are going to be envious of you. How do you deal with those people? And there is a very simple way of dealing with those people, but those things are going to happen. There are going to be people who see you being very successful or saying, oh, come on, it doesn't last. But you can rely on the fact that what you're going to be learning from Richard, what you're going to be learning by using the book, what you're going to be learning on the Zooms, you will create a solid business with very few reversions. Reversions come about when people just build with a lot of programs and a lot of excitement and activity. This is going to be real, very, very professional. Richard is very professional, and he is not pushy. And so the thing that I have learned from him already is how it's not pushy, but he gets the information out and to find out if people are interested. So we must decide what our block is. And maybe it's something we can't get around it. Maybe it's something we should talk to somebody about. But we all have blocks. I have blocks. I have blocks. We all work on them. And I must figure out how to get around those blocks or get past them, but I first have to recognize them and deal with them. And there are a lot of simple things that we can do to help. As an example, if we lack confidence, or doing the affirmations, or getting up in the morning and looking in the mirror and saying, I'm an incredible, incredible leader of the organization. I'm an incredible leader. I mean, we must tell ourselves good things. It's so easy to tell ourselves bad things. And we must jot down what if, and look at the potential, what different scenarios could exist in your organization. I'm putting down what's going to happen when I have so many sales leaders and people in the Osterhaus organization that are wanting to move ahead, that are in the program. What's going to happen? I am picturing doubling the recap. I have been focusing on what's going to come along to double the recap. What can I do for a number of years, folks? And like Richard has said, he's been waiting 30, 40 years for something like Shaklee to come along to raise the image of network marketing. 30, 40 years. I've been talking about one day we're going to have people from the field out there saying, this is what we're going to do. This whole program is field driven, and I'm saying, hallelujah, here it is. Been waiting for years for this thing. And so I know it's going to happen because I've pictured it so many times, and I've pictured the things that are necessary to make it happen, and it's all happening. As I've said, and I'll repeat again and again, we're going to have the biggest growth years we've ever had in Shaklee's history. The biggest. Charlene Fikes says it's going to be 4 times bigger than whatever happened in the 70s. What happened in the 70s? People would get into the business and have 20 new sales leaders in 1 year, right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And those people had to do 3,000 volume, 20 of them. Talk Dee Dee Shaw. I mean, somebody with confidence. Okay, that's what she had going for her. She was confident and she wants to help other people. And I think, what was it, 4 months, they had 50,000 personal PV. In 4 months, they were way past the executive level, senior executive. It's going to be bigger than that. I mean, there are many people, and many of you on this Zoom, when you guys started, within a few months, you were at 5,000 or 6,000 volume. That's going to happen because we're going to change the whole focus. Many people are focusing on how can I get my 2,000. Now people are going to focus on how can I get my 5 or 6. The focus is going to change, and we must accept the fact that I am going to change and become a different person. And I'm going to become an incredible leader, and I'm going to have an incredible organization that will continue growing because that 12 months, just 12 months, folks, you will have built it so solid, so strong, it will continue growing because you have in that group probably about 3 or 4 good, strong leaders at different levels. They're going to keep this thing moving, whether you go fishing or not. If it's built with a bunch of hype and excitement, no, it's not going to be the case. But by going through what we're going to learn with Richard and everything else and doing these Zooms, that's what will happen. You will have an incredible, strong organization that will continue growing. Because this momentum that is getting started right now, regardless of what happens, it's going to last for many years. Many years. And it's up to the field to keep it growing. So we're going to be changing. Things are going to change. You can continue being on the Zoom, but we're going to be talking about what happened, what did you learn in Richard's last program. And so it's going to be like talking a different language if you're not taking the class, if you're not taking the program. And it's not to exclude anybody, but we're going to be talking about some leadership stuff. And if you're feeling uncomfortable with that, then once again, it's just not going to fit. Questions? I'd like to know what you're thinking because this is all about for you. This is not for me. And I really appreciate knowing what you're thinking about all this or questions that you have.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a downline member who has toyed with the idea of building a Shaklee business. and she, all this is new to her about Richard Brooks. She has his book. She's just started reading it. She wondered if it would be possible for me to Zoom her in so she could hear just the first session. I don't know if that's allowed, but what do you know about that? Are we allowed to do anything like that to kind of introduce somebody to see if they want to be a part of this?
You could, but I wouldn't recommend it at all.
Okay.
Because it takes a decision. Now, here's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Mm-hmm.
If she made a decision and got into class, and the way I would approach her, and this is a very good discussion on this,
Mm-hmm.
to say, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have an opportunity to have good growth in your business, and if you have an interest in growing in Shackley, this is the time.
Okay.
This is the time. The worst possible scenario is that she pays for 1 month and then drops out.
Okay.
But if she doesn't make a decision
Right.
to put the money down, then what's going to happen, she will not make a decision to do Shackley.
So it is possible to just pay for 1 month and then drop out if she's not interested in it?
Yeah, Richard is not going to hold anybody to this thing. I mean, it's for the people who want to grow.
Yeah.
And so trying to compel somebody, you got to stay with it, you put your money in, you got to, he doesn't care. Because his interest in working with people who make the decision, who really want to grow. And personally, I wouldn't want to have people continuing in the Zoom because they feel they have to continue in this training program and they really don't want to. I'd want them to get out because I want just creative people in there.
And then one other related question. If somebody doesn't join before the first Zoom, how long of a window do they have to still join?
We don't know, but we'll discuss that and we'll be able to tell people within a week.
Okay, thank you.
And Roland, I bet that people can come in because if they become a member of the Facebook, they can always go backwards and catch up.
There's a possibility for a limited period of time to do that, yes. You don't want to get them too far behind. They come in, but I don't know. We will talk about that and I'll have more information probably next Tuesday on that.
Roland?
Yes, Dick.
Yeah, this is Dick. Yeah, I had assumed that there would not be any opportunity to register after it had begun because the registration page says that registration will be closed at 9 Pacific time on Thursday. So that's interesting if someone could get in later. I had a question about whether this is something that might be repeated at some future time. We've written a bunch of our people and said this is really kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I assume he's not doing this class every 3 months for Shackley people. Do you have any sense regarding whether it might be offered again in the future?
There will be things offered in the future, I believe, and this is what we're in discussion with him about and exactly how we would work this. I mean, we've got some great, incredible plans, ideas out there. And so we're in discussion on this. This is going to be good question, Dick. This is going to be a unique class, the first one, because it's all brand new to everybody. And there's something about going to the Grand Canyon, which is not too far from you guys, but going to the Grand Canyon and seeing it the first time. And seeing it the second time is good, but nothing like the first time. And that's what this class is going to be. It's going to be the topic of discussion in Las Vegas, and there will be a lot of people wanting to continue with it, but the first class is going to be incredibly electrifying, believe me. And of course, what makes the other classes good, if we have some down the road, is that when you go to the Grand Canyon the second time, what makes it exciting is to bring somebody with you. So those things will probably happen. Other comments or questions, or what are you thinking about what I'm talking about, how things will change for you? How you do your business will change. How your focus will change. You'll be the conductor. It's a whole different position. because what you're going to be looking for as a conductor is how people in your group can motivate each other. So that way you know what somebody is doing in your group, and you can call somebody else and say, why don't you talk to them, because this is what they're doing. You will have people in your group exchanging Zooms. You will have people in your group saying to somebody else, would you come and do a meeting for my group? You should be looking at, maybe on a quarterly basis, setting up recognition dinners. Well, think of all the things many of you did or are a part of years ago. What are you going to do for your really strong leaders? How are you going to work with them? Because you're the conductor, and you must be several steps ahead of them. And this is what we're all working on. I'm working on. I mean, all these sales leaders coming into the group, new sales leaders, I'm definitely figuring out what can be done. And this is why we're talking with Carolyn and some of the other people in the book and figuring out what are we going to do. I mean, we're trying to be good conductors in this whole program. And so how to be a good conductor in the group that is going to be starting for all your sales leaders. Do we set up a retreat? Do you set up a retreat? But I can see many of you, as you have done before, somebody who's in the Zoom, in the training, and you may drive a few hundred miles to do a meeting for them. Or somebody who is not even in your group. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you, well, you live in Colorado, McLean's, and the Bennetts live in Colorado, and both of you have a good growing group, and you exchange meetings, and you're not that far from each other. That's going to be so powerful. And people in your group are going to start doing that with each other. Or they're going to meet somebody on Facebook, and they're going to say, oh, I didn't know, you know, you're taking the Zoom. You're taking the training program. Let's exchange meetings. I know we live in Colorado and you live in California, but let's exchange. It's going to be so worth it. What are you thinking?
Roland, I'm going to speak for my wife. We've been picturing this for weeks since we decided to be part of this training, and we know of a place outside of Buena Vista. I'm sure Dick knows it too. It's called Mount Princeton Hot Springs, and she said, "Won't it be great when we can have a retreat there for all of the people that we've brought into this business via this tool and using this, and we can set this up to have them come and experience this incredible, fantastic place." So the vision is definitely there.
I know you guys have a great vision. You're already picturing
Steve,
that.
Steve, you're on.
That's fantastic. That's good. Oh, who else? I'd like to hear your comments or your questions.
Roland, this is Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Hi. Well, I'm like totally brand new and don't have anybody signed up yet. And I am taking this training and I am so looking forward to it, and I am so excited about it that I can't even hardly stand myself.
How long have you been in Shackley, Deb?
Oh gosh, what is it? Maybe 3 weeks or a month now.
What are you excited about Shackley? I thank you for telling that. Why are you excited?
Well, I'm excited about the products first and most, but about the opportunity to basically grow unlimited. And I've never had an opportunity to listen to such a powerful, I guess, speaker and trainer such as Richard. I've watched some of his videos, and I just think they're just so inspiring. And the way he talks about Shackley and how he feels about Shackley. So I'm just really excited.
Mm-hmm. You know, we had a chance to talk the other day, Deb, about building a network and organization of people. Can you see that better than just getting customers?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I will be interested to find out what your thinking is after you start the training. But I have high belief and high expectations for you because you're a very confident person. You are. I can tell that. And when we're more confident, we look at more possibilities. When we're less confident, we look at less possibilities. And I know you're ready to expand your thinking to incredible possibilities. And I believe with what you know, the experience you have, I wouldn't look at anything less than key coordinator. And so I don't know if you studied the rank or not, but
a little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Mike, what are you thinking? You can unmute. There you go. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be pretty good. I'm kind of waiting for it to get started, especially with learning all the stuff that you were just talking about at the beginning. That's going to be pretty powerful, I think, be able to get all that knowledge, learn how to do things.
Yeah, it's a whole different learning level. Thank you for mentioning that. Shannon, what are you thinking?
I know when we saw him live when we were up in Portsmouth, just his perspective on everything was, I want to say, refreshing. And I wanted to hear more from him. So when I heard there was going to be a training, I was so excited about the training and signed up right away. So I'm excited for his perspective because I really like how, he's not even in Shackley, but he knows we're the best. And I think he could have been a part of it a long time ago, but for whatever reason didn't become one. And now he's, somewhere else and he's kind of getting back into it. So I just love his perspective. And I think that his coaching is going to be invaluable to people who are brand new, people who are stuck, people who's been in it for 10, 20, 30 years. I just think this is going to be huge. I've read his book. I've given a couple copies to a couple other people who are on the Zoom here, and they've all had really good reviews. And I'm just really crazy excited and to be able to, I think, make the vision bigger, because I think people's vision sometimes gets too small. A little like mine, Roland, before I started talking to you. Didn't even know what key was. So I know exactly how to get there now and exactly what I need. But I can't wait for what he's got to say and how he's going to help us in the field and the perspective that not only is he going to give us, as building in a business, but the perspective to give us that we can help other people and give us the words to help other people. I think that's going to be pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for that, Shannon. Richard is very, very good in how to approach what to say and so on. But you can just feel from him. And that's what happens when you are a leader like that. You feel good stuff, just like many of us, felt wonderful things from Dr. Shackley. A good feeling, or Jim Whittam. We felt really good because they had such a heart for other people, but they had these leadership skills, if you might say, and those things attract. And Richard has good stuff that he says, but he is attractive because of who he is and what he believes in. And so I've listened to his words very carefully, but I pick up a feeling of conviction and belief. And it's not hype. And that's more powerful than the words. That's what's so powerful. Marion, comments?
Roland, I've been in a long time, 43 years, but I want to tell you something. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, that's coming down the pike. I wish it had come sooner. Because, I mean, the people that were able to touch through this, and I've already been able to get to people, because it's as we bring those 10 or 20 new directors into the group, or executives, or whatever they are, as we bring those in, there's a whole mass of people that's with them that's going to be helped with the products, going to get the business, and going to get this pick up on this training. I just hope we have an opportunity here somewhere to get, I mean, I know those things are going to be archived, but I don't know how you're going to work all of that. But I'm thinking about the people that are going to be coming in, because, if we got these 10 or 20 new directors, or whatever rank they are, we got to have things to help them along too, besides us. Your Zooms are just absolutely incredible. Incredible. I can't miss it. I had trouble getting on tonight, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss something here. But, anyhow, I finally got one computer to work. But it's just simply that the opportunity we have, we just don't have any idea where it's going to lead us. As long as we are out there following the program, as he lays out the program, and when we follow that program, that thing, and we're in there, and our heart is in it. And I don't know about you, but my heart's in Shackley. And so that feeling that I have with this, I mean, I'm 75, and I think, gee whiz. Now, Roland, you're not far behind, I know. But we're having a great time. And I was listening to some of Richard's stuff today. When you sign up for the training, then you get these emails on his bliss and his daily things. They're great. They're wonderful. So make sure, everybody, when you sign up for the training, that when he sends you those emails, start getting on those things, because they're super. They're super. I mean, they're only like 8 minutes or 9 minutes or 6 minutes or something like that. Just absolutely perfect. So.
Wow. Very good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Very good. Who else?
I just want to say, Roland, kind of piggybacking, can't even talk tonight. Piggybacking, whatever. I just want to say the thing that I am so excited about is when you are in a community like this, and the verbiage that starts coming out, and the confidence that will build as a result of that for everybody. And, I was talking to a bunch of gals this weekend, and they said, how long have you been doing what you're doing? And I said, 39 years. And they were blown away. I can't believe you're so excited about what you're doing, doing it that many years. And I think that is huge, what sets us apart. But getting that right verbiage and learning how to shut our mouth when we're supposed to. I'm learning.
Do you see, Nina, after learning more about Richard and going through all this stuff, do you see clearer master coordinator?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Well, and as you always said before, you have to first make that decision where you're going. And it's kind of funny how stuff is starting to happen. It's like, oh, serious? Really? That's cool. So, yes.
That is such an incredible phenomenon, which is part of the 98%. But talking to some people who've made the decision and hearing the stories of how things fell out of the sky. People they haven't talked to maybe in months will text them and say, I've been thinking about doing the business. Because if we understand what Dr. Shackley was all about, and his thoughtsmanship. What happens when we make a decision to do something, we take down that barrier that people pick up that could be 1,000 miles away. And therefore, they feel comfortable maybe saying something like, you know, I'm interested in looking at Shackley. But it's just like a barrier is created when we walk past a person who has a sign, I'm homeless, can you contribute? There's kind of a barrier there. But we set up a barrier with somebody who's miles and miles and miles away from us. And it's the only explanation I have, but if you read Dr. Shackley, he talks about that, how you create those things through this energy, and you are now open and receptive. Otherwise, if you're guarded, somehow people pick it up and they don't want to communicate with you and say they're going to do these incredible things. The other things go ahead.
I was just going to say the other thing that happens too, though, is you have somebody right in front of you that is everything. They've said all the right things that they want to, be involved and use products or whatever, and we don't even hear them.
No.
That's
a very good point.
When you're open, it's like zing, zing, zing. It's there. You hear comments all over the place where you never heard them before.
Yep. Very, very true. The other thing that I am so amazed at, I believed it was good, but was his book. A book is a book. You can learn from it and so on. It'll be good. But I have to say, I didn't believe the reception of the book would be this good. And what people read it, looked at it, and were that much further ahead in their thinking. I didn't believe it would be that big. And I'm talking about men and women who may not be interested in the business, but I don't know. It's just more than I expected. Let me put it that way. And I was hoping for big things, and it's more than I expected. So it's just getting better and better. And I understand some people have had an opportunity to be in on some of the Arbonne training program that he's done for them and is doing in the process right now. They have 1,400 people. And this is not put on by the company again. It's totally salespeople. Totally salespeople. But they said, you would not believe, he puts out a lot of money back into it for incentives. People who accomplish certain things, and I don't even know what they have to accomplish, but he has limousine service for them and everything. He just really goes out because he knows the importance of helping with the vision. And of course, that type of vision helps other people who say, I want to get in the limousine. Boy, it's so important to have that vision and be very creative. And one of the things that I was just thinking of as being creative is start thinking about how you can do a Zoom for the new people coming into your group maybe once a week where people can tell nutritional health stories because you want them to learn about the products. That's going to be a vital thing as an orchestrator of your business.
And then post those to a private Facebook group with all your customers.
Yes. I mean, there's just so many things we must do. The other thing is, which I do, and you have known that I've done that, is where I can draw on a pad and it comes up on the screen, the share of the screen. So that way you can show people things. Some people may be inclined to put a PowerPoint together, but it's not the same thing. It's like Nidra Sar said, they can see how sloppy I can write, and they say, if she can do it, I can do it. And so being able to show things or showing how to build in depth, you can show it right on the computer screen with your whole group. So therefore, get prepared by have those basic tools that you can do that. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. And I don't know everything, please understand. I don't know everything to get prepared for. I'm learning and working at it. I just know it's going to be big. Other comments or other questions that you have?
I have a comment.
Yes.
I'm really excited, not just because of the magnitude of what Richard Brooks is doing, but also that Brendan Bouchard is going to be at our convention at the global conference. He is so motivational. I went to his event in Phoenix, Arizona in the spring, and we were there from like 9 in the morning till 7 at night with no breaks for lunch, only a break for supper, and nobody got tired. And he's so motivational, and he has you start with your dreams. And I think that's going to be real key for us. A lot of times I've started with goals, but he has people start with dreams. And I think it's neat that we have this wonderful technological thing we call Zoom right now, this format for getting together, because it helps those of us who live in other areas that might feel isolated from our group to feel connected. And I think this is so neat. I'm kind of a people person, and I will do things better together than alone. Anybody identify? And I'm just excited about going through the Richard Brooks deal on the Facebook group, and connecting on Facebook and then connecting here. I need that. And I think there's strength in numbers and in encouraging one another and drawing from each other's ideas and creativity. And this is an amazing group. So all of that excites me. The Zoom being a part of all this too. So, they had that phenomenal growth way back then, but look now, we're so connected all across the United States and globally if we want to be. So we have that advantage too over what they had in the 70s.
Yes, a great tool, incredible great tool. Thank you for that, PJ. The other thing that we want to do to be prepared is we should have done the 8-minute sales plan many times before we go out and do it. And this we can practice on, I feel, at least 25 times. You don't do it all at one time, but break it up. And so you feel good about it. And I have seen incredible things happen already with people that I've done the 8-minute sales plan with. And I have done the 8-minute sales plan for a couple in-homes, because those are still a necessary part of building. Okay, we've got the Zoom and so on, but boy, it's important. I did one in Chicago on Thursday. I'm laughing at Steve here. And it's about a 500-mile drive. Got up early in the morning, drove to Chicago, had a chance to sleep a couple hours in the car, and did the meeting. There's 16 people. 14 people in that person's group and a couple from another group. There's 16 people at that meeting. And something happened that has not happened before. And that is, in going over the business, we pass out the cards at the end. Are you interested in this and this and this? At that meeting, I had a 26-year-old college gal, or maybe she's just out of college. Oh yeah, she's out of college and she's trying to pay her college debt. Said, I want to earn $3,000 a month. I haven't had people that strong wanting to know about the business. I don't think it's a quirk thing. I got in the car after the meeting and I drove 500 miles back home. And I was talking to Steve on the way, and Steve's comment was, oh my gosh, I complain about 100 miles. And here I drove 1,000 miles in one day. It's not something I would repeat frequently, believe me. But then on Saturday, came home Thursday, had Friday. Then on Saturday, drove 4 hours to Atlanta to do a 10:30 in the morning in-home presentation. And we had about 7 people there. And there was somebody there that checked off, I'm interested in earning money with Shackley. Maybe it's coincidental, but that has not happened to me before. It took people saying, yeah, I'd like to maybe earn a little income to pay for products and so on. These people want to earn a good income. And I just believe when they see, you're looking for 2. You're looking for 2, that get 2, that's going to be $3,000 a month. It is so clear. It is so clear as to what to do, and I believe people are saying I can do that. And they don't focus on, and I haven't done that many since showing that to groups, but I haven't had anybody say, I'm interested in earning enough for free products, even though I mentioned that after I go through that. But they're talking about earning a good income. It's just, I am so happy with that. And when I gave the sales plan, 8-minute sales plan in Atlanta, the third page or the third part of it, I forgot, where you show coordinator and so on. I forgot that. So I had to put that at the very end. But it worked out. You know, it's okay to make mistakes. That's the other thing you must be prepared for. Make mistakes and laugh about it. It's okay. It's okay. Any other last questions or any last comments? This has been good. I really, really appreciate all of you being on. It's
Roland, I'd like to throw something out. You talk about the stuff falling out of the sky once you get your thinking in the right place and you make a decision. Well, I had a fella call me yesterday, text me yesterday. I've known this guy for 15 years through my other company. And he texted me yesterday with a problem. And I said, yeah, I'll get to it. And we got to chatting back and forth. And, oh, by the way, I'm unemployed now. Now, this is a guy in his mid-50s who's had a very good income managing 40-plus hotel properties that all of a sudden is without a job. He has 2 kids in college and a wife with cancer. And having that book to be able to say, you know, Dave, I got something that might interest you. Would you take a look? And he said, oh, yeah, I'll take a look. I'll take a look. And so when I dropped it, I was up there today to see him, about an hour's drive away, not 10 hours like you. And I was able to talk to him for a minute. I left the book with, and he was asking me, do you have that book? Can I look at that book? And it's like you said, there's this energy thing that goes down, and the attraction is out there in the universe. And for some people, they may think this sounds crazy, but believe me, it's not crazy. It happens, and it's going to happen more and more and more. So having these tools as an opportunity is just, it's tremendous.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is. It is tremendous. And it will happen more and more and more as we have that belief that it should happen. And we will never say when it happens, that's unbelievable. And therefore, as a leader, the conductor of your group, when you hear somebody in your organization say that was unbelievable, you will know to help them to stop that, to change their thinking. You're going to be working with people really on their thinking more than you've ever done before. Helping them to find their block, help them to elevate their thinking, helping them with their more confidence. You're going to be working with people on their thinking. It's going to become something that's going to become normal to do that. So I want to thank all of you so much, because I see so much talent, so much potential to make history. You are the people making history in Shackley. And I can tell you right now, I do a few Zooms for some other groups. Nidra and Jean Saar are one. And what we're going to be talking about at this new level, I can guarantee you nobody in the United States is going to be talking about it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but many people are going to be talking about the success of getting the book out, the success of the training, and so on. What you're going to learn, and not many people are going to learn this, is how to be a leader and be a good conductor so that you don't have the reversions and you have a strong group that continues growing. That's what you're going to learn. And so I'm very, very happy that you can be on this Zoom to learn those things, because you are the people who are going to really stand out and help to educate people to a whole different level of thinking that they probably won't get anyplace else. They're going to gain, they're going to become leaders and grow in the business and so on, but not like what you people are going to do. That's what you're in store for. So I really, really, really appreciate you being on, because that's what's going to happen. No doubt. So thank you. Appreciate you. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Roland.
Roland.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you too.